Okay, so um, you've been really digging into this MRA Holdings, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This publicly traded cryptocurrency mining company.
Uh-huh.
And you sent over a ton of research, actually.
Hmm.
News articles, market analysis, even some technical data.
Right.
And you really want to figure out, is this a hidden gem or are you about to like step on a crypto landmine?
Yeah.
So let's dive in.
Let's do it. What I think is so fascinating about this is that MRA stock performance, it's like a roller coaster ride
Oh, is it?
through investor sentiment. I mean, on the one hand, they're up almost 12% this past month, even beating the S&P 500.
Wow.
But on the other hand, the stock is currently trading at $16.81,
Okay.
down about 3% from yesterday,
Oh, wow.
and a far cry from its yearly high of over $34.
Okay, so a good month doesn't erase the volatility, right?
Yeah.
What does this tell us about how the market is viewing MRE right now?
I think it screams uncertainty.
Does it?
The crypto world is notoriously unpredictable, and Maros stock is mirroring that.
Okay.
Some investors are bullish.
Yeah.
They're drawn in by the potential of this crypto mining sector,
Yeah.
but others are spooked by the price swings.
Right.
So this upcoming earnings report on February 26th
Oh,
is gonna be crucial.
yeah. Speaking of that report, the predictions that I'm seeing are, well, they're a bit of a mixed bag, I'd say.
Yeah.
Analysts are forecasting a revenue jump of over 57% year over year,
Right.
but also a loss of 38 cents per share.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, are they booming or are they busting?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. See, a growth at all costs approach that can work, especially in like a new industry.
Right.
But at some point, investors, they want to see a path to profitability.
Mm-hmm.
And if that February 26th report doesn't show that MRA is getting their costs under control,
Oh.
even the most optimistic investors, they might start jumping ship.
And I imagine their stock price would take another tumble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, reading this report won't be about just like top line revenue.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be about understanding their strategy.
Okay.
Are they making smart investments for the long term?
Right.
Or are they just like burning cash chasing the short-term growth?
Okay, so let's look at some of these technical indicators that you sent over,
Okay.
which honestly, sometimes it feels a little like reading tea leaves.
Right?
But MRA is currently trading below both its 50-day and 200-day moving averages.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that usually a sign that things are, like, going south?
It is.
Yeah.
Those moving averages, they suggest a downward trend,
Mm.
which would worry some investors.
Mm.
However,
Okay.
the RSI and the stochastic oscillator,
Mhm.
they're giving us a different signal.
Okay.
They're saying that MRA is oversold.
Okay, I see. And then there's this low trading volume that we're seeing.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that make the stock more volatile?
It could, yeah.
Like any big buy or sell order could swing things wildly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is that the risk that we should be watching out for?
You're picking up on the nuances now.
Well, I'm trying.
Yeah. No, low volume can be a sign of investor indecision,
Oh, okay.
It's like everyone's holding their breath,
Oh, I see.
just waiting for some news or event to tip the scales.
Okay.
And you're right, that makes the stock very sensitive to any sudden moves,
Gotcha.
which is why this earnings report could be the catalyst.
Right.
That sends MRA soaring or plummeting.
Yeah. Okay, so mixed signals from the technical data. A make or break earnings report on the horizon.
Right.
Is there anything in MRA's actual operations that might give us some clues?
There is one development that really stands out,
Oh, is there's?
and it might actually give MRA an edge over its competitors.
Okay.
They've started construction on a new 25 megawatt data center,
Okay.
and it'll be powered by excess natural gas, essentially using a waste product to fuel their mining operations.
So I did read about that.
Yeah.
And it seemed like a pretty smart move,
Mm-hmm.
especially with all the concerns about the environmental impact of cryptocurrency mining.
Yeah.
But how much of an advantage does this really give them?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
Most crypto mining operations, they're energy intensive.
Right.
They often rely on fossil fuels, which is bad for their image and their bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
MRI is using a cheaper, cleaner alternative.
Okay.
This not only reduces costs,
Yeah.
which could help them become profitable faster,
Right, yeah.
but it also makes them more attractive to ESG-focused investors,
I see.
which is a group that's growing rapidly.
Okay, so it's not just about being quote, green, quote unquote.
Right.
It's a strategic play to appeal to a whole new segment of the market.
Exactly. And that's what we need to keep in mind with MRI.
Yeah.
You know, they're not just riding the crypto wave. They're making moves that could position them as a leader in this rapidly changing industry.
Okay, and we've talked about market sentiment and earnings projections,
Right.
but we can't ignore the elephant in the room, right?
Right.
The cryptocurrency market itself.
Yeah.
From the charts you sent, it looks like MRA's stock price kind of shadows overall crypto trends pretty closely.
It does. It does.
Okay.
And that raises a really, really critical question for anyone considering MRA.
Okay.
How comfortable are you with the volatility of cryptocurrency?
Mm.
If you're bullish on Bitcoin's future,
Yeah.
MRA might look like a good bet.
Okay.
But if you're wary of the risks inherent in crypto,
Right.
well, MRA is probably not the stock for you.
So before we go any deeper, let's just kind of recap what we've learned so far.
Okay.
We're looking at MRA Holdings, right?
Yeah.
A cryptocurrency mining company
Mm-hmm.
whose stock is currently experiencing this tug of war between, those excited about the potential of crypto and those who are scared off by the wild price swings.
Right.
Right.
And their upcoming earnings report could be a real turning point.
Okay.
Because analysts are predicting strong revenue growth, but continued losses.
Right.
So investors will be looking for signs that MRA is managing their costs
Yeah.
and laying the groundwork for future profitability.
And we also dug into some technical indicators which paint a somewhat confusing picture, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The moving averages, those suggest a downward trend.
Mm-hmm.
But other indicators, those point to MRA potentially being oversold.
Yeah.
Which could be an opportunity for those willing to take the risk.
Exactly.
And then we can't forget about MRA's innovative move to power their new data center with excess natural gas.
Right.
This could give them a significant cost advantage
Yeah.
over their competitors
Yeah.
and even attract a new wave of environmentally conscious investors.
But their fate is still tied to this unpredictable world of cryptocurrency.
Right, right.
So the question remains,
Yeah.
is MRA a risky gamble
Yeah.
or a diamond in the rough?
Yeah.
To answer that, we need to dive even deeper.
All right, you ready for part 2?
Let's do it. You know, as we analyze MRA,
Yeah.
it becomes clear that this isn't just about like mining Bitcoin.
Right.
It's about navigating this really turbulent waters of a brand new industry
Yeah.
where technology and finance are constantly colliding.
Right. It's like MRA is this microcosm of the whole crypto world.
Exactly.
All the potential upside, but all the risk, like, magnified.
Exactly. And that's why context is so key.
Yeah.
For example, we talked about their upcoming earnings report.
Right.
But what does it actually reveal about Mary's long-term game plan?
Well, from what I'm seeing in their investor presentations and press releases, their strategy seems to be all about aggressive expansion.
Okay.
They're investing heavily in new mining equipment, building out infrastructure,
Right.
and constantly trying to increase their hash rate.
Okay.
Basically, their computing power.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's a classic growth strategy.
Right.
Prioritize market share and revenue,
Right.
even if it means sacrificing short-term profits.
It's like the Amazon model, right?
Precisely.
Grow big fast and worry about profits later.
Yeah, and it can be wildly successful, especially in a rapidly growing market like cryptocurrency.
Right.
But it's a high-stakes gamble.
Yeah.
If the market slows down or competition heats up,
Mm-hmm.
those losses can start to look very scary very quickly.
Yeah. So high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
But what about the environmental impact of all this mining?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a big concern for a lot of investors these days.
It is, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency mining, it has this reputation for being an energy hog.
Right.
But that's why Emery's methane-powered data center is so intriguing.
Right. Yeah.
It signals that they're not just ignoring these concerns. They're
Yeah.
trying to find these innovative solutions.
It's a good way to differentiate themselves from some of their competitors.
Yeah.
Many of whom are still relying on coal or other fossil fuels
All right.
to power their operations.
You're absolutely right. As more and more investors start prioritizing these ESG factors,
Yeah.
environmental, social, and governance,
Yeah.
that could give MRA a real competitive advantage.
And for those who might not be familiar with ESG,
Right.
it's actually a framework
Yeah.
for evaluating how sustainable and ethical
Right.
a company's practices are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a framework that's becoming increasingly important for investors.
Right.
especially millennials and Gen Z.
Okay.
They want their investments to align with their values.
No. So MRA's methane project isn't just like a feel-good story.
Right.
It could actually translate into a real competitive advantage down the line.
Mm-hmm. Right. It shows that they're thinking long term.
Right.
And that can be very appealing to investors who are in it for the long haul.
Okay.
But let's zoom out a bit
Right.
and look at the market itself.
Okay.
We've talked about how MRA stock price, it tends to mirror the broader crypto market.
Yeah.
But what are the forces that are actually driving those trends?
Well, from the research I've done,
Yeah.
it seems like the big ones are government regulation,
Okay.
institutional adoption,
Mm-hmm.
technological advancements,
Right.
and maybe the wildest card of all.
Yeah.
Just plain old market psychology.
You hit the nail on the head.
Oh, okay, good.
We could spend an entire deep dive just on those factors.
Right.
But let's at least touch on each of them.
Okay.
First up, regulation.
Okay.
Governments around the world, they're still figuring out how to handle cryptocurrency.
Right.
And that uncertainty creates volatility. Every time a new law or regulation pops up, it sends these ripples through the market.
So how does a company like MARA even plan for the future
Yeah.
when the rules of the game are constantly changing?
It requires them to be incredibly adaptable and nimble.
Okay.
Ready to pivot their strategy at a moment's notice.
Right.
And this makes their leadership team even more crucial, which we'll dive into a little bit later.
Okay.
But for now, let's move on to institutional adoption.
Okay.
We're seeing more and more big companies starting to dip their toes in the crypto pool.
Right, like Tesla adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet,
Yes.
or Square building financial tools.
Exactly. And that's a major catalyst for growth.
Okay.
When big players make those kinds of moves, it sends a signal to the market that crypto is going mainstream.
Right.
And that legitimacy attracts even more investors.
Yeah.
Driving up demand and prices.
It's like a snowball effect almost.
It is.
But what about the technology itself?
Yeah.
Are there any like game-changing innovations on the horizon that could shake things up?
Oh, always. The crypto world is constantly innovating.
Right.
Things like Ethereum 2.0, decentralized finance, and the exploration of new uses for blockchain technology.
Right.
All of these are shaping the future of the market.
It seems like a pretty exciting time to be in the crypto space.
It is. It absolutely is. It's an industry brimming with innovation and disruption.
Yeah.
And companies like MARA are on the front lines.
Okay.
But we can't forget the psychological factors at play here.
Right.
Crypto is fueled in part by emotions.
Yeah.
Fear, greed,
Yeah.
FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Right.
You know?
That explains the massive price swings we often see, right?
Exactly. When everyone is bullish, prices skyrocket.
Yeah.
But when fear takes over, the bottom can drop out in an instant.
So it's a white knuckle ride for sure.
It is. It is.
So we've got all these complex factors swirling around.
Yeah.
Regulation, adoption, technology, psychology.
Right.
And MRA is caught right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So how do investors make sense of it all?
Yeah.
And decide whether MRA is worth the risk?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's no easy answer. It comes down to individual risk tolerance,
Mm-hmm.
investment goals, and a fundamental belief in the future of cryptocurrency.
So it's not just about, crunching the numbers and analyzing charts.
Right.
It's about understanding the bigger picture
Exactly.
and weighing the potential rewards against the risks.
You got it. And perhaps most importantly, it's about staying informed and adaptable.
Okay.
The crypto world, it changes at warp speed.
Yeah.
Investors need to be prepared to adjust their strategies on the fly.
So where does all this leave us with MRA? Buy, hold, or fold?
Well, based on everything we've unpacked so far,
Yeah.
it's clear that MARA is a company with enormous potential,
Mhm.
but also a significant amount of risk.
They're growing it at breakneck speed.
Yeah.
Investing in cutting edge technology
Mm-hmm.
and trying to position themselves as leaders in the crypto mining space.
Right.
But their profitability is a big question mark.
It is.
And their future is intertwined with this unpredictable world of cryptocurrency.
Exactly. The decision ultimately comes down to each individual investor.
Yeah.
You know, they need to weigh the potential rewards against the risks,
Right.
and decide if MRA aligns with their investment goals and philosophy.
Okay, so no easy answers.
Right.
But that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
Absolutely. This is a complex and constantly changing world.
Yeah.
But by understanding the key drivers and dynamics at play, investors can make more informed decisions.
Right.
And navigate this exciting new frontier with a little more confidence.
Okay, so looking ahead,
Yeah.
what are the key things investors should be watching for in the coming weeks and months? What will signal whether MRA is on the right track?
First and foremost, that earnings report that we keep coming back to.
Yeah.
Will they beat revenue expectations?
Right.
Will they show any progress toward profitability?
Right.
Those are the big questions.
And of course, we need to keep an eye on the broader crypto market.
Yeah.
If Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies continue to rise, MRA will likely benefit. But if the market takes a nosedive, MRA could get dragged down with it.
Right. Everything is interconnected in this space.
Anything else?
I'd keep an eye on any news or announcements related to the methane-powered data center.
Okay.
How quickly are they scaling it up?
Right.
Are they attracting new customers based on their sustainability efforts? That's a key differentiator for MRI in a crowded market.
And of course, any developments on the regulatory front could have a huge impact.
Oh, absolutely.
On both MRI and the entire crypto industry.
Regulation is the ultimate wild card. A single policy shift could change the game completely.
It sounds like investing in MRI requires like keeping your finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
Of the crypto world 24/7.
It does. This isn't a passive investment strategy.
Yeah.
It demands constant monitoring.
Right.
And a willingness to adapt as things change.
Right on.
Now I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about the importance of understanding the context.
Right.
Can you expand on that a bit?
Sure. When we talk about context in the world of investing, we're talking about going beyond just the numbers and understanding that the larger forces at play. It's about asking questions. Like what's happening in the overall economy?
Yeah.
Are we headed for a recession? How are interest rates trending?
Yeah.
What are the social and cultural shifts that could impact this industry?
Exactly, because an investment that might make perfect sense in one context could be a disaster in another.
So how do we apply that idea of context to MRR?
Yeah.
What are the key contextual factors that investors need to be thinking about?
Well, we already touched on the macroeconomic environment.
Right.
If the economy takes a downturn, investors tend to pull out of riskier assets like crypto.
Yeah.
So understanding the overall economic backdrop is crucial.
Okay.
We also talked about regulation,
right.
but it's worth repeating.
Yeah.
Government policy can make or break an industry.
Right.
Especially one as new and disruptive as cryptocurrency.
So investors need to stay informed about any new laws or regulations that could impact.
Absolutely. And beyond government regulation, we also need to consider the social and cultural trends at play.
Okay.
Is crypto becoming more mainstream? Are younger generations embracing it as a legitimate asset class?
Right.
Those trends can be powerful drivers of long-term adoption and growth.
Right. If crypto remains on the fringes,
Yeah.
it's going to be much harder for a company like RRA to thrive.
Yeah.
But if it gains wider acceptance, their potential is enormous.
Exactly. Understanding these broader contextual factors is critical for making informed investment decisions. It's like looking at the whole forest, not just a single tree.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful.
Oh, good.
I feel like I have a much more comprehensive understanding of RRA and the crypto world as a whole now.
I'm glad to hear that. And remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand, the better equipped you'll be to navigate this complex and exciting space.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this episode.
Yeah.
But before we move on to the final part, I want to leave our listener with something to ponder.
Okay.
As they continue their own research on NRA.
Ooh, I like that.
A final thought to spark some curiosity.
Yeah.
And maybe some deeper analysis.
Exactly.
Here's what I'm wondering.
Okay.
We've talked about how MRA's success is tied to the broader crypto market.
Right.
But what if that relationship starts to change?
That's an interesting question. What do you mean?
What if MRA starts to decouple from the crypto market?
Oh, okay.
What if they find ways to generate revenue and profits that are less dependent on the price of Bitcoin?
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
It's a provocative idea because right now MRA is basically a Bitcoin proxy.
Right.
Their stock price it rises and falls in lockstep with the crypto market.
Right.
But what if they found other ways to create value? Exactly.
What if they use their blockchain expertise to develop new products or services?
Mm-hmm.
What if they become like the gold standard for sustainable mining?
Right.
And attract investors who care about ESG factors.
No, those are intriguing possibilities.
Yeah.
It would require them to diversify their business model and find new revenue streams.
Right.
But it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
And if they could pull it off,
yeah,
it could potentially reduce their risk and make them a more appealing investment.
Right.
Even for those who are wary of crypto's volatility.
That's right. It would be a bold move.
Yeah.
But it could pay off big time in the long run.
So that's our food for thought.
Okay.
Keep an eye on MRA and see if they start to blaze their own trail. They might just surprise us all.
I love it. A challenge to think beyond the obvious and envision new possibilities.
Right.
That's what makes these deep dives so rewarding.
All right. That wraps up part 2 of our deep dive into MR Holdings. Ready to explore what the future might hold for them.
Let's jump into part 3.
It's striking how much of our conversation about MR keeps circling back to these broader trends that are shaping the financial world.
Yeah, it's unavoidable. MRA is like a case study in how those macro forces play out at the company level.
Right. We talk about ESG investing.
Right.
The shift towards sustainability, the growing influence of millennial and Gen Z investors.
Yeah.
Those aren't just buzzwords. They're changing the rules of the game across every industry, not just crypto.
And it seems like Mara's trying to position itself to ride that wave.
Yeah.
With their methane-powered data center being a prime example.
Right. It does make you wonder, how much will ESG factors actually matter to investors 5-10 years down the line?
Yeah.
Will profitability be enough, or will companies need to prove they're sustainable and socially responsible to really thrive?
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no crystal ball, but it's something every investor needs to be thinking about.
Because the investment landscape is changing, right?
It is.
Values-based investing is gaining momentum.
Yeah.
And companies that ignore those values are doing so at their own peril.
Precisely. Mara's focus on sustainability might just turn out to be one of their smartest long-term plays.
Right.
It gives them this unique selling point.
Yeah.
A way to stand out from the crowd. And that could be crucial for attracting a new generation of investors who are looking for companies that align with their worldview.
Okay, so we've got ESG.
Yeah.
We've got the macro environment. We've got the wild world of crypto itself.
Right.
What else should we be factoring in as we try to assess Smero's future?
Well, there's one more element that's easy to overlook.
Okay.
Amidst all the data and market trends.
Yeah.
The human element.
The human element. What do you mean by that?
The people behind the company.
Okay.
The leadership team. Their vision, their ability to execute.
Okay.
At the end of the day, companies are made up of people.
Right.
And the quality of those people can be the difference between mediocrity and greatness.
That's a really good point. We've been so focused on the numbers and the charts. that we haven't really talked about. Who's actually at the helm of Mary?
And it's a critical piece of the puzzle.
Right.
A strong leadership team can take a good company and make it exceptional.
Okay.
They can steer the ship through stormy seas, seize opportunities others miss,
right,
and inspire their teams to reach new heights.
So how do we evaluate Mary's leadership team? What should investors be looking for?
I always start with track record.
Okay.
What experience does this team have in the crypto world specifically?
Right.
What have they accomplished in the past? Have they successfully navigated tough challenges before?
Right. Experience matters, especially in an industry as fast-moving and volatile as crypto.
Absolutely, but I also look beyond the resume and try to get a sense of their vision.
Huh.
Where do they see MRA going in the next 5-10 years?
Right.
What are their big ambitious goals?
Because a clear, compelling vision can be like a powerful driving force, right?
It is.
It can rally employees, excite investors, and give the entire company a sense of purpose.
Exactly. And finally, I pay attention to their communication style.
Okay.
Are they transparent with investors? Do they communicate clearly and effectively?
Right.
Do they inspire confidence?
Because trust is everything in the investment world, right?
It is.
Investors need to feel that the leadership team is competent, ethical, and aligned with their best interests.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So when you're evaluating MRA or any company for that matter,
right,
don't forget about the human factor. The people running the show,
right,
can make all the difference.
This deep dive has been incredibly illuminating.
Exciting.
We've covered so much ground, from the technical details of crypto mining to the macro trends shaping the financial landscape.
And we've explored the key questions investors should be asking themselves as they research MRA.
Yeah.
Is it a risky gamble?
Right.
Or a hidden gem? As we've discovered, the answer isn't simple.
Right.
There's no magic formula, no guaranteed outcome.
Right, but by understanding the company,
right,
the industry, and the broader context, investors can make more informed decisions,
right,
and navigate this exciting world with a little more confidence.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we encourage you to continue your research, stay curious, and never stop learning. The world of investing is constantly evolving.
Right.
And the only way to stay ahead of the curve is to embrace that journey of discovery.
That's it for this deep dive. We hope this gives you the knowledge you need to make a smart decision about MRA.
Happy investing.